Hey, in this video, I'm going to talk about a specific CRM enrichment use case, and I'll show you how we can sort of have this company's data in one of our CRMs, say Attio, and we can send that data to Clay, enrich the company data, and then get it back to Attio, right? So there are two workflows that I'm going to show you in this video. So coming to how Attio's data, company's data looks like, right? So if you see on the records tab on the panel to the left, Attio has this functionality of showing companies, people, and then deals. In the companies tab, uh, when you click on it, you see all of your companies listed in one place, right? Now, what I want to do is, apart from the information that Attio is already giving me, for example, it's giving me the estimated ARR of the company, the employee range, uh, a bit of information about the description and all of that, right? But let's say I want to, you know, find more information about the company before before I interact with the people at these companies, right? I need to send this data to Clay, find that information, and get it back to you again. So in this specific use case, what I'm going to talk about is I'm an SDR who's trying to sell to a company called Attio itself. And so I need to find how many people visit Attio's website. I need to find the pages per visit and then the tech stack, right? So I'll show you how we can do that. Okay, this is how the workflow looks like. Basically, it's a simple three-step process in which we send data from Attio to Clay, right? And the data that we are sending is the data that I showed in the companies tab. I'm going to manually run this right now, but we can automate this as well. So basically, when you automate it, what's going to happen is whenever you add a company's name, it's going to be sent automatically to Clay and it will get enriched over there. So this is the manually run step, which is the first step. The second step basically is in the find records, you have in the three objects in the inputs, you have companies, people, and deals. You select companies because we need to find a record of the company in this object. And in the conditions, what you do is you select the company name, and then you I've selected RTO because for this use case, I'm sending just RTO as a company, as a single record or a row to Clay, get it enriched, and we're going to get it back. We can send, I've put a limit over here. We can send up to 100 companies at once, get it enriched, and then get it back from Clay to RTO. First step obviously is the send HTTP request. The method that I'm going to use is post. Through this, we're sending data from Attio to Clay. In here, I've blurred this. Basically, you put in the Clay webhook in this tab, in this space. And then in the body, we are sending the Attio unique record ID. And I'm going to cover a bit later in this video why that record ID is very, very important, because it will act as a unique identifier to send that data back again to Attio. We'll be sending the company name and we'll be sending the company domain, right? And then on Clay, I've already set up the webhook. I've run it twice, so this is how it looks. Let's go back and see, let's run it once and see how the data gets captured. Basically, I'm triggering a manual workflow from here. And if you see at 9:48 p.m., the data from ITO has flown into Clay. And then I've set up a few enrichments readily already over here. As I said, I'm an SDR who's trying to find or is trying to sell website analytics software to this prospect, which is ITO itself. So what I'm searching for on Clay is the number of websites, the number of visits that have happened on this website, the number of pages per visit, and then the text tag. Right? So I'm going to run both of these, and as you can see, it has found some data over here, the number of visits, and then the pages per visit. There's actually a waterfall that I created, but I'm not going into the details of it. Then, basically, until now, what has happened is we have picked up data from Attio, we've sent it to Clay, and then Clay has enriched it. Now we'll have to figure out a way to send this data back to Attio. This is how we're going to get the data from Clay to Attio. What we're doing is in Attio, we are creating a webhook to get the data from Clay to here, right? You copy this webhook URL to the Clay's HTTP API function. In the second step, what we're trying to do is we're trying to parse JSON. It took some time for me to figure this out, but thanks to Joru's video on YouTube, I was able to understand and figure this step out. What we're trying to do is in the raw webhook payload, we're trying to map fields of data like the record ID, the website visits, the pages per visit, and the text tag, the data that we're trying to send from Clay, right? The next step is we find the record, and in here, as I mentioned earlier, we're using the unique identifier, which is the record ID, to search it in the database. And then what Clay is going to do is it's going to send the 3 website related data that we enriched against that specific record ID. So it's very important that you map this, otherwise, the data in your company's object, right? And then in the update record, what we're doing is, let me show it to you in the editor. What we're trying to do is in the attributes, you can select multiple attributes. So what we're selecting out here is website visits, pages per visit, and the website stack. Now, coming back to the main table, what I've actually done over here is these 3 columns, by the way, don't exist. And then I've named them as these 3 columns. And here, when we're trying to send data from Clay, we select those 3 attributes into which the data will. And then you map the data fields from Clay in here. And that's it. We are all set. This is going to run and we can have a look at the data. I'll have to run it on Clay, and then I've run it multiple times already over here, right? If you see, it is giving a green tick, which means that has been successful. And in my columns table in Attio, my website visits, my pages per visit, and the website text tag gets updated. In short, just recapping the workflow, we need to create 2 workflows. One is we're sending data from Attio to Clay for the enrichment. And then we are receiving the data back from Clay in Attio. That's about it. And if you found this video really interesting, or if you have any doubts, feel free to drop a DM or a comment. Thanks.